Hey, it seems there's two topics going around right now that just keep on popping up. One, the four games that have gone to PlayStation. One in particular is actually doing insanely well and has topped the pre-order charts, at least in America, and now it's being shown in other areas too. So it's looking like that game is going to be highly successful. The other game seems to be a play on should it be on Game Pass or not. And so today in this video, we are going to discuss both of those points and go through them and see why either it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, because I know this is going to be a divided topic and people may turn around and say, oh, you are shilling for a corporation. It's got nothing to do with that. I just personally believe that certain games do need our financial support if they are going to succeed or provide additional content or just grow as a game, especially in the region of live service games. Now, live service games can be anything from, the standard live service that you know, or to MMOs. They still are live service because they are updated frequently and evolve over time. So first things first, let's start off with Sea of Thieves. And if you do like the content I'm doing, do hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys are amazing. So let's go on. So as you can see on screen right now, Benji Sales has released this screenshot. Well, this tweet. And it says, Sea of Thieves is currently the #1 best-selling pre-order on PlayStation Network in the United States. Now, I did release a sarcastic tweet earlier, which people didn't see the sarcasm and are now hounding me. Sorry, I'll work on my sarcasm. But it's really crazy to see that Sea of Thieves is beating games like MLB The Show, Dragon's Dogma, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, PlayStation's, exclusive games like Rise of the Ronin. These games are all being pushed aside, and Sea of Thieves is topping the charts. Now, obviously, this could be due to a number of reasons, but I'm going to push on the fact that Sea of Thieves is actually a really good game, and though it had a rocky launch, which is one of the reasons why Xbox gamers are very upset about this, because they had to endure the really crappy launch, the crap product that it really was at launch, empty, barren, with nothing to do. And now that it's actually a really, really good game, it's being ported to other devices. And they find this kind of offensive because they feel like they were beta testers for other platforms. I can totally get that. I totally understand that. And I sympathize with that. At the end of the day, no one wants to feel like a second-rate citizen or a second-rate consumer, someone that is looked down upon when, another platform is getting the game, albeit they are having to pay money for it, up to $100 from what I'm seeing, and they are getting it in, well, that's in Australia. In the US, you can see it starts at $40 and goes up to $60 for the actual Ultimate or Deluxe Edition, whichever version that is. So I get it. I totally do. I totally understand where they are coming from. But, this just proves that there is demand for these games. Now, Sea of Thieves has been extremely successful on Xbox. It's got such a huge, flamboyant player base. Did it really need to go multi-platform? Probably not. Will this actually aid its success and growth and be able to provide more content, better content, faster content? Who knows? That is the hope. The hope is that with this going out to other platforms, as this is pretty much a live service game that should really be, in my opinion, multi-platform, just like Helldivers 2, just like all the other games like Destiny, Division. I think those should be multi-platform. Now, you've got games like the Horizon MMO. I think that probably has grounds to be exclusive because it is literally a first-party staple IP, just like Halo multiplayer. Now, you're probably going to say, well, what's the difference? Well, to me, when it comes to a staple IP, there's a difference. And I would, as good as Sea of Thieves is, And for all intents and purposes, people may say it's better than all the staple IPs that are there. To me, in terms of prestige from the title, it isn't up there with Halo, Forza, Gears of War, or Fable. You know, those games for me are Xbox. Sea of Thieves is a cool game. It's Xbox, but it's a few pegs below them in terms of prestige. So where Halo multiplayer, I think a lot more people would, lift an eyebrow. I just don't think that that would happen or is happening with Sea of Thieves. In fact, what you're seeing now is a lot more people saying, well, let's get it on. Console wars out in the open seas and see what's going to happen. This could be really interesting. But either way, I think this is actually really interesting. The alternative to this is that they're doing it on purpose to show Microsoft that, hey, look, we are buying these games. We have been thirsty for Xbox games for such a long time. We've been begging for them. We really want them. We've been on our hands and knees, on all fours, waiting for this. We've had our tongues wagging. We've had our tails shifting left or right with our butt cheeks open, waiting to get shafted. At the end of the day, they have been waiting for a long time for Xbox games, and they are so grateful that now they actually have good games to play, that they are showing Microsoft that this is what they appreciate from them. You let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I think this is actually pretty cool that it's the #1 pre-order on PlayStation. It just shows that regardless of all the PlayStation games that are coming, or all the third-party exclusives that are coming that they've been crying about, the Stellar Blades, the Rise of the Ronin, the MLB The Show, none of them hold a candle to a 4 or 5-year-old game that has been around for ages and is now debuting on the PlayStation platform. I find that highly amusing. So you let me know what you think about that. Now, the second point that I wanted to talk about is Final Fantasy XIV. Now, Ginger Prime, as you know, a good friend of mine, has been advocating that the Final Fantasy XIV subs should be included in Game Pass. And he's responding to someone in his comment section, I believe, who's basically saying that it should be free. Now, my personal opinion is that it absolutely should not be free. Final Fantasy XIV has grown and pushed forward because of its subscription model. Free-to-play games don't update as often as Final Fantasy XIV does. 14 has an update every 6 weeks. You get like a minor patch. Every 6 weeks you get every 6 weeks you get a minor patch. Every 12 weeks you get a really major patch. But the point is, as you continue playing, you get 4 major patches a year, 4 small patches a year. You might get some intermediary patches as well if it's needed to do a hotfix, and they'll maybe add like a new feature or stuff like that. So they even add little bits and bobs in between as well. They do stuff like limited jobs and then actually build content around that as well, like we've seen with the Blue Mage, and now they're doing it with Beastmaster. So I think this would be a really bad idea personally, and I don't think 14's subscription base needs to be in the actual thing. And Jez Corden actually agrees with me. He says, disagree, the sub funds Final Fantasy XIV entire operation. This is how high quality MMOs have worked for decades. Ginger says, would you like WoW sub to be added into Game Pass? Jez says no. If it would hurt the game's cash flow and viability, no. Ginger says, yeah, I don't think there is a real way to test that either without either jumping into the deep end. And Jez then continues saying, a ton of new players who technically aren't paying for the game would have increased server costs and decreased investment in content. It would be hugely disruptive, and I think a bad thing to do. So don't forget, so now if Microsoft is paying for your subscription, they're not getting any money for this. Square Enix is, I guess Square Enix might be getting money for this. I really don't know how the logistics for this work, because it doesn't use Xbox Live. It doesn't use the Xbox servers. It uses Square Enix's own dedicated servers. This is why there's the whole commotion that Microsoft is paywalling this game behind Game Pass itself, behind Xbox Live. You need to have a Game Pass subscription in order to be able to play this, whether it's a core subscription, a Ultimate subscription, you need to have one of those in order to play it. And I think that's a scam. I think that is really wrong, and it shouldn't be the case. It's not the case on PlayStation. It wasn't the case on Xbox 360 with Final Fantasy XI. You did not need an Xbox Live service. As long as you had a silver service, which was a non-paid online access, that's it, no access to multiplayer, you could play. So why they're doing this with Final Fantasy XIV, I think is a little bit bad. And, you know, I feel for the players because, I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, who doesn't have either Core or Game Pass Ultimate? I mean, there are people that seem to come out of the woodwork in the caves and underground dwells that say they have Game Pass console and they don't do anything else. And for you people, you know, you are literally the few and far between. But this affects you. You are the people that this primarily affects because you can't play this without signing up to Game Pass Core or to Game Pass Ultimate. And I think that is where I draw the line. This is a game that shouldn't require that. But should it be required, you know, should the sub be included in Game Pass? I mean, if they increase the price of Game Pass by $10 and have a Final Fantasy XIV edition where you're actually paying it anyway, sure, why not? Or maybe they'll do like a discount where you'll get it for like $8, right? Instead of the $10. I'd be okay with that as well. But 14 to me is a very special game, and I've been playing it since the 1.0 inception, where they actually took it offline for 2 years and rebuilt it from, you know, rebuilt the whole game. And it is what it is today. There's a lot of work that goes into this game, a lot of continued updates, and I feel that the subscription model here is warranted. Without the subscription model, it just wouldn't work. Now, there's also a ultimate, you know, a Game Pass Ultimate perk for those people that are playing Final Fantasy XIV. There is going to be a starter edition available through Game Pass Ultimate perks. You can claim it between March the 21st and April 19th. Now, this is a massive, massive warning to you all. Right now, you've got the beta that you're playing. When the game comes out, you will be transitioned onto the free trial and your current game will be working as normal. Now, your current version of the game, the beta and the free trial, will have limited social functions, but the full game essentially is there up until level 70 with Stormblood. After that, you will need to buy the game. But you have no limit on how much or how many times you can play the game. You can play the game for a whole year if you want, if it's taken you that long to get through the base expansion, Heaven's Ward, and then Stormblood. But the moment you get this starter edition through Game Pass Ultimate perks, your trial edition deactivates and you change to the official version. Now, what does this mean? What this means is that your trial version, which allows you to play unlimited hours for as long as you like, up to level 70, up to the story conclusion of Stormblood, disappears. And there's no way to revert back to that, no way to unlink, no way to retract. Once you make that switch to a paid account, it's final. This isn't just for Xbox, this is the same for PC and for PlayStation. No matter where this game exists, this is the rules. And it sucks, but I wanted to get that out there. But to me, when we're looking at things, I just feel that when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, I think the subscription model is a good thing. I think it actually works. I think it helps fund the games, and it just helps keep the content flowing and, you know, in a sense, keeps the game, you know, keeps Square Enix funding the project. Because at the end of the day, if this goes on to Game Pass, then it has to go on to PS Plus. It can't work one way or the other, because then PlayStation Plus users will feel cheated. So, do I feel Final Fantasy XIV sub should be included in Game Pass? No. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think it should be at the same price that Game Pass Ultimate now is? Or do you think if they increase the game price of Game Pass Ultimate for a Final Fantasy XIV edition of Game Pass Ultimate, where it's increased by like $7-8, so you're still getting like $2 or $3 discount, would that be something that you think could work? Where you're getting like, you know, maybe a 20% discount on the subscription. Is that something that you think is okay? And then when you start playing 14, you can downgrade yourself to Game Pass Ultimate. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. And if you did enjoy this content or found it useful, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and until then, remain legend.